Some officers might think their badge makes them untouchable. But the courtroom tells a different story. In this video, we're looking at moments where judges didn't hold back and put corrupt or dishonest cops in their place. Let's dive right in. We begin with Officer Michael Wagner, who falsely claimed that Lisette Gonzalez was driving under the influence, even though she was never given a breathalyzer test.
I want to be enlightened.
It was a mistake, admittedly, by Michael Wagner.
I know.
He testified to that today.
He caused her to have her driver's license suspended for at least a few months for nothing. So are you going to null process that case? Or am I going to get mad?
Perhaps you can get mad at me, Your Honor, but at this point...
Why wouldn't you? Wait a minute. Did you hear the uncontroverted testimony of this officer?
Your Honor.
Then I want you taking him up on perjury.
Your Honor.
Will you take him up for perjury?
He admitted it was a mistake, Your Honor.
No, but he lied. He lied on a sworn
Absolutely
citation.
not, Your Honor, and that is not true.
I'm dismissing. I'm dismissing. I am dismissing this charge. No, I'm dismissing the charge.
The judge didn't hold back. He called out the officer's lies in court and expressed serious concern over the false reporting. Ultimately, the judge dismissed all charges against Gonzalez, making it clear that dishonesty from officers would not be tolerated.
You're granting it because you don't agree with the state's decision on
I'm
the
granting
other
the
charge.
JOA in fairness.
In fairness, because you don't like the state's decision today, Your Honor, on the case?
No, you're not. Now that I consider what Officer Wagner testified to and how many times he basically tripped over himself just to arrest this lady with no real probable cause. You're done. Motion JOA is granted.
And you're not going to provide a written order on that?
Nope. You want to appeal me? Appeal me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The case should have never been done. Never.
Thank you for letting us know that, Your Honor.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Okay.
What you want? I didn't do nothing. You tripping. Hey, bro, you tripping. What the Hey, bro. Bro, you told me I'm What the fuck is wrong with you?
Next is Officer Joseph Roberts, who aggressively pursued Trinity Clark as she was peacefully walking outside her home.
Hey,
Mom, I don't got no shirt on.
dang.
Move my titties out, you stupid ass bitch. Bro, move my Move! I'm not bro. Bro, I don't got no shirt on, no.
Hey, you don't even know that serious. Don't come up here for me. Y'all going out of none of that. It ain't
Get in the house. How about that?
Mama!
Bro, somebody call my mama.
36 Delta, get us some units up here. We got people coming to the house.
Trinity, what's your mama?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn.
Bro, move my titties out if y'all don't move.
Get your hands out.
No, I don't have no fuck y'all. Bro. Bro, let me the fuck go. I don't got no mother. Mama. Call my mama, bro.
2816 Landon. Oh, y'all better get DLC in the house.
Get the off of me, y'all. Bro, get off of me, y'all.
Put your hands on your back right now.
Bro, no.
Not only was his behavior unnecessary, but he was also caught lying to other officers about what happened.
And she pulls over really quick right here, steps out of the car and tries to run in the house. I told her to come here. She's not coming here. She's not coming to me. So I try to grab her.
That's fine. You tell me in a minute. You're okay though.
She punched, yeah.
Whose first car is this?
Fortunately, justice caught up to him. Roberts resigned from the Knoxville Police Department and later pleaded guilty to tampering with official records. In another shocking case, Anthony Waller was standing in court, answering questions about an alleged assault charge. While calmly talking to the judge, a deputy nearby suddenly attacked him without provocation.
The investigation for false imprisonment, assault in the third degree, assault as a Class 2 felony, and a misdemeanor charge as well in possession of drug paraphernalia.
I'd like to object first. If I'm under investigation, I thought the investigation came first, and then the rest came.
Right.
Hey, hold on, man. Oh, yeah. Get on your feet. You don't turn on me. Get on your feet.
The judge saw the entire incident and ordered the deputy to be taken into custody on the spot. Waller later won $50,000 in a civil rights case as a result of the abuse. Then we have Pike County Sheriff Charlie Reeder, who admitted in court to stealing money from cases to support his gambling addiction.
Your Honor, I stand here before you today to take accountability for my actions. As the Sheriff of Ohio, I shed, excuse me, I shed bad light on the office of sheriff. For this, I am terribly sorry. If I could go back and change it, I would 1,000,000 times.
There's another box of Kleenex and
For this is not who I am. I have and I now pray that the court will find mercy on me. And I beg the court, if they see fit, to grant me community control.
He pleaded for mercy during sentencing, but the judge firmly reminded him of the seriousness of his actions.
The big question I have, and is on everyone's mind, I'm assuming, is, I guess, why did you take the money?
I took the money, and mind you, this does not excuse it, but from drug dealers that took it from parents of very poor people in this county.
Despite his emotional plea, the judge made it clear Reeder had betrayed the public's trust.
You've been in law enforcement for 24 years. We all choose our profession, and we have to conduct ourselves with integrity so that everyone trusts us. It cannot be underestimated the damage that you have caused to the citizens of Pike County, to law enforcement who every day get up, face the same sort of stresses that you do. They go all home at night, they get up in the morning. The sacrifices that these men and women make, I think you've made a mockery of them.
Judge Vonda Evans delivered one of the most powerful courtroom moments when sentencing officer William Melendez.
What crime did I commit? Being a black man in a Cadillac, stopped for a minor traffic offense by a group of racist police officers looking to do a nigger. As police officer John Zelenowski, auxiliary police officer, testified in court too, in his response to a text, was quoted as saying, "At least give me the satisfaction of knowing that you're out there beating up niggas right now. LOL. How humiliating and degrading that must have been." He was left in a cell for a number of hours before getting medical treatment. But after hearing the defendant and his fellow officers joke about his injuries as they were wiping blood off their uniforms with disinfectant. 2015. Please be quiet in my courtroom. How does this happen? I'm gonna tell you how it happened.
Melendez had been found guilty of brutally beating a suspect. Judge Evans didn't hold back in her words, expressing deep disappointment and emphasizing how law enforcement must be held to the highest standard.
You betrayed your city. You caused your lovely wife heartache. And you caused Mr. Dent severe anguish. And finally, in the words of Vicky Yost, your commander, accountability is required to ensure continued community trust and healing. Today, I can only punish your conduct, but only you and God can change your character.
This afternoon.
I'm not trying to waste your time.
Then is it your intention to enter a guilty plea at this time or not, sir?
No.
Former Sheriff Todd Pate faced the courtroom over multiple charges, including being under the influence while serving. During his hearing, he struggled to enter a guilty plea, and after repeated failed attempts, the judge lost patience.
At this time, is it your desire to change your plea from not guilty to guilty?
Do I have to answer that yes or no, or can I make somewhat of a statement that's
That is a yes or no answer, sir.
Will I have the opportunity to say anything further?
If it is your intention to change your plea from not guilty to guilty, certainly you'll have an opportunity to make any statement. But if it is not your intent to enter a guilty plea at this time, then I'm going to set your case for jury trial, and you're going to stop wasting my time and everybody else's time this afternoon.
Ma'am, I'm not trying to waste your time.
Then is it your intention to enter a guilty plea at this time or not, sir?
No. Why am I wasting your time,
Mr. Chambers?
She moved on to the prosecutor and eventually called for a recess.
Yes, I had every intention of coming in here today and entering a guilty plea. It's difficult for me to enter a guilty plea for a lot of reasons, and I don't want this court to think that I am trying to minimize any responsibility that I had in this situation that occurred. I feel like I'm being very much bullied into doing something that's not right, and I want this court to know that Todd Pate holds himself responsible for everything that he did. It's hard for me to lay down and plead to felony charges that don't apply.
Is it your intention today to enter this guilty plea?
And if I could address...
This is either a yes or no. Are you going to enter your plea or not?
I guess everybody thinks it's funny. Let me just plea and get it over with for everybody. Plea to something that I absolutely do not feel good about, but I don't want you to try to send me to the penitentiary for years and years. If you can sleep with it, I can sleep with it.
I think we're done. At this point in time, I think we're done. Where I think we are today is that on the one hand, the Commonwealth can enforce the terms of this agreement based on the execution. Mr. Pate, I'm talking at this point in time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
At this point in time, I'm going to sustain the Commonwealth's motion to revoke his bond. He will be taken into the custody and housed in the Breckinridge County Jail.
Your Honor, if I may speak to Mr. Chambers' motion to revoke the bond.
I've already ruled. I've already ruled at this point in time. We're done at this point in time. He's going into jail today.
In the end, Pate pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 75 days in jail. In another disturbing case, former Edison police officer Michael Dotro appeared in court after being arrested for firebombing his supervisor's home.
I want everyone to understand where I'm coming from with regards to this, especially if there's going to be any appellate review of this sentence. I want those judges to know the sentence to be imposed in this particular case is because Mr. Dotro, through his conduct and his admissions, spanning from 1998 to this year, represents the worst that we can possibly expect from someone in our society. Yes, he's caused very specific damage to Captain Endurple and his family, to Ms. Zog, to Ms. Dotro, to his own parents, to his families, to his brothers. But what he's really done, and what we're going to be left with after he's walking out the door to spend the next third of his life in prison, is allow people a basis to say that our system of justice has no integrity. How could it, when we've allowed this particular individual like him here in Middlesex County, here in Edison, to do the things that he's done, similar to what we see on the news every day from other parts of the country. Because of what this individual has done, because of him and people like him, victims are afraid to come forward to be part of the criminal justice system and get the relief that they're entitled to from being victimized, because they have no faith in it, because they don't know who to trust. Even more importantly, we have other individuals every day who put on a badge which represents honor, service, and integrity. Without question, go out there every day, leave their family behind to protect an entire community with hopes that they can make it through the day, through the end of their shift, so that they can go back home to their family and lead a normal human being life. Because the life of a police officer is not a normal human being.
The judge didn't hesitate to pass a heavy sentence. Dotro was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his actions. Lastly, we have Joshua Underwood, a former deputy who was in court for a bond hearing after being charged in connection with a standoff.
All right, Mr. Underwood, I find the solicitor's request for a cash or surety bond of $50,000 to be reasonable accordingly. I'm going to impose that cash or bond for your release.
I find it absurd that you haven't even obtained any information from me based off the solicitor. You're going to believe everything he says.
Okay.
And you're going to go ahead and set a surety bond on me on a misdemeanor.
Okay. Are you finished? Okay. If you'll hear me out, please. Thank you. Additionally, I'm going to place a requirement for a GPS monitor prior to your release on bond. I'm going to restrain or restrict your contact with your domestic partner or the mother of your child, whichever best describes her, to include her place of work and her residence. Additionally, I'm going to prohibit your physical or constructive possession of firearms or ammunition at any time for any reason. And I want to make sure that you understand, when I say constructive possession, I mean there's to be no firearms or ammunition in any vehicle you're being transported in or riding in unless it's...
What grounds? Are you prohibiting me from firearms?
I am.
Why? What grounds?
I am. Because I have that latitude given the severity of...
The judge remained calm throughout the hearing, but Underwood showed blatant disrespect in the courtroom. Despite the judge's composure, it was clear the former deputy had no intention of cooperating.
Given the severity of...
What reason is your
Sir.
Why are you standing behind it that you're gonna
Mr. Underwood,
firearms?
Mr. Underwood, in this court, one person talks at a time.
From the solicitor's office and the sheriff's office.
You're going to find yourself in contempt of court.
I've already been in contempt.
Okay.
I'm not here, sir.
All right. Are you going to allow me to finish? Constructive possession of firearms or ammunition means you will not have it in your possession. It won't be in the house or the room that you're staying in. It won't be in the vehicle that you're being transported in, unless we're talking about transport by law enforcement. Do you understand that? All right. That's all. You're dismissed. Officer, if you'll remove him.
Judges don't play when it comes to the law,
How does this happen?
and that includes law enforcement officers.
We all choose our profession, and we have to conduct ourselves with integrity so that everyone trusts us.
These moments serve as a powerful reminder that no one, not even a cop, is above justice.
I've already ruled. I've already ruled at this point in time.
Ma'am.
We're done at this point in time. He's going into jail today.